Right now, they are focusing all of their attention on this levee system. We are at Market and Broadway, and the man tells us both streets were open at the time of this incident. We have not seen any significant accidents so far, so that is a good thing. Mainly spin-outs and people who just can't maneuver. This is what drivers will see at this intersection at Potomac in California. It's meant to slow cars down. We're actually just down the street here at Broadway and State Street, and you can see crews have already started having to pump water. Staff members and community members came out demanding for his resignation.
I'm not resigning.
Do you think your comments were racist?
No, not at all.
They last saw the pair leaving this gas station after buying just $9 worth of snacks off of a credit card. The board passed measures here at City Hall on Friday, expanding resources to keep people from being convicted at the courthouse. Crews have been inching this truck out of the side of this apartment complex for the last few hours this evening. Now, Highway 21 has been shut down for most of the night because of this accident. Well, Steve and Courtney, police are still looking for that suspect. We can tell you that what started this manhunt happened at this intersection behind me. You can see this scene. It's still blocked off by crime scene tape. Here is video of how active this scene was when we first came out here this evening. The suspect is not in custody, and police have not yet released a description of that suspect. They tell us they are still searching nearby neighborhoods, trying to find where he is. We will, of course, stay on top of this story and bring you more updates as we get them. And some simply just cannot move up this hill. And now this hill is actually causing all of this backup down Page Avenue. We've seen St. Louis County Police and Maryland Heights Police travel through this area, but it's really not much they can do to try to mitigate this situation that we have up here. They are urging anyone who is in this area to avoid it. They've arrested the second suspect in this case. When they arrived to that SUV and opened up the back door, that's when they tell us they found that 2-year-old inside unharmed.
507, have the LSD respond.
Police everywhere, helicopter. Police running around with machine guns, which we don't see much around here.
Jim Hubert says his neighborhood street in Florissant went from quiet to chaotic in less than 30 minutes.
When we pulled up, all the police officers.
Hubert was shocked to learn those officers were looking for 2 suspects who carjacked the mother driving this red SUV. What's even more alarming is that police say the men stole the car with the baby inside.
That poor kid sat there for 30 minutes by himself.
Hi. Hi, baby.
This dash cam video showing the moments when officers found the stolen car and toddler. Florissant police say the men carjacked the child's mother as she was pulling into her driveway on West Duchesne. Investigators say the men showed a gun and then yanked her from the SUV, taking off with it and her child. Just a few minutes later, they ditched it on St. Florence.
You gotta really be aware of your surroundings.
Hubert says he noticed the SUV when leaving to pick up his kids.
I didn't think anything of it when I walked out of the house.
When he returned, police had taken one man into custody and set out to find another.
Let's start a canvass from 1240 St. Florence. Also, if you don't have a canine.
I knew they weren't coming back here with the number of police officers.
And police canvassed that neighborhood for more than an hour. Right now, they have not released the identities of those suspects. We will let you know when they do. He's defending that it's taken a year for him to complete this project. Now, this is what our home looks like. You can see exposed wiring in this room. Now, this room is where her grandchildren would sleep when they would come to visit. They cannot do that anymore. She says her entire house is a mess, and she says it's a daily struggle to just maneuver around.
I can't sit in my living room. Well, you see that.
Vanessa Rancher dreamt of giving her 1911 home a new look and feel, but the reality is that dream has turned into a construction nightmare.
It don't take a year. Over a year.
She says she feels duped after paying her contractor, William McCullough, with Home Makeovers by McCullough, nearly $20,000 from her savings.
I don't know why I did what I did.
She wanted to make the home perfect now that she's retired. The plan was to start with the living room.
I want my walls painted. I just wanted to refresh.
Then the bathroom.
Reglaze the bathtub.
The kitchen and 2 bedrooms.
I cannot get back here.
I looked into McCullers' company and found they have an F rating on the Better Business Bureau's website. Many complain he has not finished projects he was paid to do.
I don't know what was wrong with me. I should have stopped then.
We went by McCullers' home and called to get his side.
Would you like to respond to the F rating?
He told us he's aware of that BBB ranking and is trying to improve.
I never once said that I wasn't going to complete a project. I still am.
He blames winter weather, not enough employees, and schedule conflicts for dragging out Rancher's renovation.
Do you have a timeline on how quickly you all can finish this project?
Yes, I do have a timeline.
McCullers says he wants to have all this done in 2 months.
It is a common complaint.
The BBB urges people to research contractors before signing for a project. And they warn you to never give anyone the full amount up front.
Do what we call at BBB the rule of thirds, and that would be to pay a third of the cost of the project at the time you sign the contract, a third when the project's about half done, and then hold back that other third until it's completely done.
I understand her frustrations.
Rancher hopes McCullers comes through on his promise.
He'll say, I'm coming. He never shows up.
And if you are in a situation like Rancher, experts say you should do 2 things. First, contact the Attorney General's office. Rancher has done that in this case, and they've confirmed that they are investigating the situation. Second, you should get a hold of BBB. They tell us they offer a free service to help individuals fight to get their money back in situations like that. Not only are we learning what next steps county leaders are taking to improving this, I also got a copy of this email from a former county employee that reveals how detention officers were punished that put inmates at risk.
We've had 4 deaths in our St. Louis County Jail this year.
It's a planned overhaul. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page says it's necessary at the county jail.
We certainly can be doing better than we are, and we know that.
The need for improvement comes after 4 inmate deaths were reported this year. News 4 first told you that families for 3 of the deceased inmates feel their relatives died in the jail because medical needs were ignored.
We actually need more nurses, and we need more training for our nurses.
They can't help themselves.
Tashonda Troop is the mother of Lamar Catchings. He was the 3rd St. Louis County inmate to die this year. She believes the county needs to address what she says is a negative culture among jail staffers.
It makes me angry, but it also shows that the abuse is real.
Through a records request, I got a hold of this email sent to County Counselor Tim Fitch from a former jail employee who wishes to remain anonymous.
He states in this letter that as a form of punishment for a detention officer who senselessly beat an inmate, former jail administrator Julia Childry reassigned that officer to the infirmary.
That person should have been terminated immediately.
That's horrible. Because why would you put an abusive guard with the helpless?
Sources tell News 4 this guard in question was working in the infirmary at the time of John Shy's death. He was the 2nd inmate to die this year.
Of course there's a leadership problem. If you can't terminate or otherwise discipline a violent guard, then what are leaders supposed to do?
Page says in the last 7 weeks they've made aggressive changes. Here's some of what he has detailed to News 4. Page tells us 3 jail staffers have been disciplined for violating policy. There's been changes to communication protocols between nurses and correction officers. Medical staff training has been improved, and there's now more talking between emergency room doctors and jail doctors. The county is also looking for a full-time doctor to lead the infirmary.
We're moving quickly and decisively.
Now the county executive also tells us that they do plan to start a nationwide search to find a full-time doctor for the jail. We've also reported that the county's prosecuting attorney's office has declined filing criminal charges in both the Shy and the Catchings case, but that's not stopping their families from filing civil litigation in this matter. Reporting live, Ashley Lincoln, News 4.